Hello Aries, welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie. Blazer the Morkie is out with other family members right now, so it's just me bringing you your January monthly reading. Today we're going to be pulling a card for your overall energy, and then we'll be doing the yummy Celtic cross spread that I love to do for the monthly readings that take us deep into the energies, and we'll close it off with an oracle card for the Aries collective. Keeping in mind, as always, these are general readings, so take only what resonates and leave the rest. You can check out your sun, moon, rising, and north node for additional context and texture. And then if you'd like a more personalized experience, check the description below where I have links to personal readings. Make sure you're getting connected with me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Creators on the Crest. And happy Capricorn season to everybody. We have the Capricorn cap or the Cappy Cap today in honor of our fellow Capricorns. And for those of you who have Capricorn energies in your chart, happy energies to you too as well for this season. So let's get into your reading. We need the overall energy from the Sacred Traveler's Oracle to start us off. Aries, you got reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. So some of you have been doing some goal setting, it looks like, and some of you may be on the precipice of reaching that destination. Now, of course, life's a consistent journey. We reach a certain point and we can stop there and celebrate and have a good time, and then life will continue on, right? But this is an indicator that you're shining very brightly and you're headed in the direction of your highest light and dreams. So you're starting us off with your current energy being that of the Page of Swords. Okay, Aries, what's going on there? Are you feeling triggered? Are you feeling like you're maybe spying on someone? Are some of you comparing yourselves to other people? These are kind of the lower energies of the Page of Swords. As we're learning, and maybe some of you are vetting out certain ideas or certain thought forms, certain ways of thinking about things, but there's something here that has a little bit of an air of immaturity here. And that's challenged by the Ace of Wands. Something very powerful and strong is wanting to come through here. But I don't know if you're going to be a match for this Ace of Wands energy, which I would think normally you would be. But since this is in a challenge position, some of you may be challenged to like be yourself around certain people or in a certain environment. You're having a hard time being yourself. You're wearing a mask. Others of you, there's this energy that wants to line up with you so that you do vibrate that vibrant shine, but because of maybe some of your own behaviors, you're not letting it in. So you can figure out what group or camp you're in there. But that's kind of what I see, is that maybe some of you feel like you can't be yourself, or you're not being authentic to yourself. You're not staying in alignment, and that is causing what would naturally come in from the universe to be blocked. In your needed focus, you get the Six of Wands. Important to acknowledge your successes, but also important for others to acknowledge your successes. And not because you need some like grade mark or some sort of approval from them, not from that, but from it being your purpose to be seen, okay, to be heard, to be acknowledged here, okay? Some of the attention you may be getting may not be quite the attention you want right now as well. So some of you may be working on that. But if you're not in your natural authentic energies either, and you are kind of in this place of a charade a bit with yourself, or these certain environments where you feel like you cannot be yourself, that would contribute to that. In the past, you're leaving behind a Hierophant energy. So this is like a Taurus-like energy. Could mean a person or someone that you've been connected to, but it could also just be an energy of stubbornness. Aries are known to be quite headstrong, and they can definitely wander into stubbornness at times. It's nice to see that you might be leaving that kind of energy in the past. And for some of you, this could be a break out of like an authoritative situation, like with a micromanaging boss or, you know, just big daddy government, that kind of thing. Maybe leaving that behind so you can have a little more freedom in your life. Now, in the energies you're moving into in your future, the Knight of Swords, that's nice to see that you may be moving from the Page to the Knights, from your current energy into the Knight's energy, right? I think the clarity is on the way. I think some of you may be holding on too tightly to the ideal of what someone else felt about you, especially an authority figure in your life, like a parent or a father or a boss. And you are stepping into more of yourself and the active energies that you carry naturally pure to you. It's like the air is clearer here. And then in your place of embodied empowerment, you get the Judgment card. This is going to be the energy of making sure that as you're going through this experience, that you are forgiving and being forgiven, right? Now, this doesn't have to come through the normal means. I don't think it will. Don't expect an apology from anyone. And of course, you control how and who you apologize to, but I am getting an energy of forgiveness. I'm feeling like you're called to let certain things go so that you can move on down the road on your journey here, Aries, right? With less stubbornness, less authoritarianism, and more of a natural acceptance and freedom in who you truly are. For your allies and support, you get the Five of Wands. Through the conflict that has been created out of this situation, you have grown. And the conflict and the tension is what has actually got you uncomfortable enough to make moves to clear this energy for yourself. So it's actually your friend at this time. In the environment, your current environment, you have the Two of Wands. You're definitely looking ahead. Here you're stepping into more of the fire energy that I like to see you in, but it's not yet charging forward, okay? This is more of a planning kind of phase. So as you're breaking through the illusions, as you are letting go the traditions and the authorities of the past, you're not quite sure how you'll move into the new energies, and that's okay. So you have a bit of a planning mode going on right now. A bit of a, let me see if I can feel into these energies a little bit. Let me see if I can perceive something. I have a pretty good vantage point here. I haven't set off on the trail because there's just a few things I want to feel that are in more strongly in place before I move. And I feel like that's okay. I don't think you're holding yourself back. I really don't. That's very uncharacteristic of you to hold yourself back. And I don't think that's what you're doing. I think you're taking a well-needed pause, okay? And then in your hopes and fears, you get the Seven of Wands. This is having more confidence around, I do have a higher vantage point on this. I have learned how to break free of these energies. And now they're at a lower plateau than where I'm at. So I no longer have to entertain that, and I can turn and take my wand on up the mountain for my next challenge, my next part of the journey. And then in the potential outcome, you get the Temperance card. This is Sagittarius energy. This has all to do with reaching your goal or your destination. So it's very interesting that for you, challenge and conflict has come up to make this momentum happen. Now let's get some clarifiers. Interesting reading. Let's get that Page of Swords, okay? This is that energy of feeling like you have to be somebody that you're really not, or some of you willingly and knowingly just putting on masks because it's just easier than dealing with the person or the situation. It is clarified by the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. This is all about you, slowly but surely, getting curious about the way you really want to live in this world during this time. And really moving into your heart space and moving forward from your authentic heart fire, that heart light. You know, it's like E.T. when the heart light shines, right? You are going to move forward from your heart space and what drives your heart, your vision, your mission, your purpose, right? All of that is blended in here. Now, this may be a little bit of or it may feel like a slower process. In January, you could feel like you're moving through it slowly, but that's because some important lessons are being picked up here as you go. So it's important not to skip steps, even if you feel like you're revisiting the basics at times. Like one day you're just like, okay, my nervous system is shot. I need to go back to the basics. I need to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. I need to reset myself. I need to do some breathing techniques. You're going to be revisiting the basics. The masters always do throughout the month of January to help yourself through letting go this illusion here. Let's look at this Ace of Wands. What is it that's trying to come through, or what are you trying to grab, to start, to move with here? You got the Two of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. Some of you have redesigned and revamped your strategy in relationships, in dating and partnerships, but this could also represent work partnerships, things that are close to your heart. We have the Knight of Pentacles here, so we have movement here through the challenge, which the challenge is helping you. It's in your support, from the Page of Pentacles that clarified the Page of Swords to the Knight, which is clarifying that Ace of Wands. And I think it's when you move into that Knight status that things are going to become more clear here for you. Now, some of your relationships may come into question during January if they haven't already. And I'm seeing this not only with your sign, but relationships and the quality and value of the relationships we have and the partnerships we have are up for question and review. And you've got that going on as well. And it has to do with you reclaiming your own freedom and authority as well in all this. Because for you to reach that destination, for you to hit that goal for yourself and your purpose here, you can't be living in a false or illusionary way. For the Six of Wands in your needed focus, this was you being out there, being seen by others, being acknowledged, not for vanity purposes, but because it's part of your purpose. You get the Queen of Swords and the Nine of Wands. You've been burnt before, okay? You've been burnt before. You're a bit cautious about putting yourself out there again in the way that you did before. But you're meant to be seen, be heard, be known. And you have this inner confidence that I don't think even you see sometime, but you're embodied with it with this Queen here. And there's this inner confidence. At times you could feel like, oh, I'm just showing off, okay? And that's just your ego talking, right? We've got to slay the ego here with this Queen. And we've got to let the more natural aspects of your leadership and your confidence come forward, right? This is like, it kind of reminds me of, if you've ever heard a person say, and I'm humble, I'm so humble. If you have to say you're humble, you're probably not a humble person, okay? If you're having to announce it to everybody. So it feels like you're overcoming that type of energy where you don't have to like falsely prove yourself or do a certain thing that's really not aligned with your natural behaviors in order to get the attention. All you have to do is show up as yourself. And when you're showing up as yourself, you're in a space of truth and neutrality. And so any ways that you might have been burned in the past, you're going to recognize had to do with the illusion because you were putting forth an illusion. This is a lot about authenticity here. For the Hierophant energies that you're leaving behind, you got the Seven of Wands, which is in your hopes and fears, and the Six of Swords. Yeah, there's been, for some of you, you've faced a lot of competition in your life, and I think some of you were thrown into competitive circumstances. Could have just been with a sibling, could have been in the sports arena, could have been in music, could have been in acting, could have been in just about any field that you can think of, religious, memorizing your Bible verses or something. And you were thrown in at a young age to these competitive energies, right? Or you had a parent that pitted you or compared you to another sibling, and it just made you want to escape that, right? And here you are now, you're an adult, you're watching this reading, and there's this childhood wounding there, right? Where you always knew, you always had a higher vantage point, but someone made you feel when you were younger like you didn't. And that's why this page energy is on the table too here, because it's kind of going back. I would venture to guess and put forward my best hypothesis that if you were to have a hypnosis session, you would be taken back to when you were a big kid, a teenager. That area there is where I'm sensing, you know, really maybe even like from 7 on, like these impressionable ages, a lot of competition, a lot of pitting you against others, and it just was not a calm environment for you. And you're working to heal that and to leave it behind and to extract the truth. So I think what it did for some of you is it maybe set you into the protection of your ego, and therefore you weren't always showing up authentically. Here for the Knight of Swords in the future, things are looking very auspicious here. You have the Lover's card connected to Gemini energy, truth, communication. You have the Justice card connected to Libra energy, truth, communication, balance in partnerships, balance in love life, balance in the clarity that you carry about yourself. You may also want to look in your own chart, Aries, for those Gemini and Libra energies. Could also represent that the work you do in January may pop up again, or you'll see some results from that during Gemini season or Libra season in further down in the year. Okay, so keep your eyes open for that as it may come through here. But what this is leading to is you being able to be much more authentic, much more clear, much more truthful with the people that you're connected to and in partnerships. So a lot of you are evolving relationships here as you go. And that's going to happen very naturally. There may be some boundaries or estrangement from, especially I'm getting like biological family members here because of it. And sometimes that is called for on the healing journey. So do set healthy boundaries as you need to with people. If you're trying to move forward in this way and the energy of someone is still triggering you to the degree, even if it is still your own healing that's needed, the boundaries protect you, protect the situation, protect the other person. Have the boundaries that are healthy. And don't force yourself, because I feel like you were kind of forced, or you then also chose that because it was a learned behavior from your past, okay? In your place of embodied empowerment, that Judgment card, where we're embodying forgiveness, and not a forced forgiveness, but a flow kind of forgiveness here, Aries. You got the King of Wands and the Hermit. I really like these two energies together because I think at times the King of Wands can be maybe a little bit overconfident. But then we have the Hermit coming in, and we have the lessons of the Judgment card and the clarity and the clarion call coming through for you here. So you're getting, this is not at all to kill the ego or anything like that, or release the ego. The ego is a very important part of all of us. And I think this is all about encompassing that inner ego and the protection mechanisms and how it served you, and it's loving that, and it's going into introspection. The Hermit I always see as a master magician, because he knows when to stay internal and learn the lessons there and actually spend time in this energy of forgiving himself or herself, forgiving the other people involved. And all of this helps propel you toward your goals and toward your destination. But it is definitely a release of illusion and falsity. So I'm going to put that down as the title, something like that. You're definitely releasing that for yourself, which is beautiful energy. So let's see how else this Five of Wands has served to help you in your support and allies here. You got the Eight of Swords and the Ace of Wands, which is also in your challenge. Yes, your challenge is your greatest ally. Aries, you becoming uncomfortable within your own skin has actually propelled you into this healing journey. Now, what I like about the energies that I see here is I feel like you are gaining clarity as you go, as you allow the challenges to process, if you will. Even if you're bumping into some repeat offenders, meaning that you're continuing to manifest certain people that fit the old narrative of authority and lack of freedom. Even doing that, it is helping you gain clarity, and you are going to be breaking free of this Eight of Swords through this challenge. So in the ways that the environment and the upbringing once affected you, now you're an adult, you get to take back the wand, which represents your passion, your fire, your control over your adult self, and you get to choose to release these energies, which you've adopted because your younger mind, your younger version of you, your energies did not know how to process and handle it at the time. So this is very much an emergence out of illusion and out of old ways, which is beautiful. This is important work. I know when people hear readings like this, they may feel like, oh, this is hard, and it is. It's difficult. And oh, I want to listen to another reading because that one wasn't very inspiring. But it is. It is because you're overcoming big obstacles here that were impressioned upon you early in life. And some people live their whole lives and they never do this work. So you should feel very proud of yourself that you're moving into these energies here. Let's look at this Two of Wands in your environment, the Temperance card, which comes up in your potential outcome, and the Queen of Wands. We had the King in your place of empowerment here. So there is someone here with you, Aries. Now, it could be this new, fresh aspect of yourself that has dropped the mask. Okay, so for some of you, it's the aspect of yourself that has healed and dropped the mask, and now you're living in your true free self. For others of you, it is a person that totally gets you and understands that, and they add value to your environment, to your life. I like the forward planning, the forward looking momentum here. It's very patient energy, which is a juxtaposition for what you're normally in. Normally you're blasting through. But in this case, when you've done this kind of healing work and you've reached these awarenesses and you're up against some of your ego's most, valiant soldiers, right? Like you've been up against that. This is a beautiful energy to come into play because you are making sure, hey, I want to make sure that this is completely cleared out. I don't want to have these sneaky sabotaging energies come in here. And so I'm going to be patient as I go through this. And I'm going to know there's going to be times where I have setbacks. I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to learn the lesson. I'm going to pick up the lantern of my own intuition and my inner wisdom, and I'm going to move forward down the path, right? I don't have to rush. I'm definitely not going to run. The Hermit's an old man. He walks kind of slow, right? And purposefully. So that's what you're going to be doing here. Let's look at this. And there's something about the illusion here. As you're releasing illusions, it kind of like peters out. It kind of like phases out slowly. It doesn't just turn off all at once. There's layers to it, right? So you're breaking through the different layers, and you need to give yourself time, patience with that, so that then as you do clear it out, it will sustain over the long term. Looking at your hopes and fears with the Seven of Wands, you get the Six of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. These are more pleasant and balanced energies coming in. Now remember, you had the Seven of Wands as a clarifier in your past, and I feel the difference between the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands from the past is just you in survival mode, defending yourself, feeling like you're under attack and comparison and competition all the time. And the Seven of Wands in your hopes and fears here is that the new version of that, where you hope to see everything you learned from the past gave you an advantage in life, in relationships, in observing the playing field, and that you can go forward with that Six of Cups energy, which is a lovely, beautiful, innocent, pure exchange from the heart that you offer someone else or that you yourself receive. And the Six of Pentacles represents much more balanced relationships when it comes to your relationship with money, your relationship with your health, your relationship with other people, giving and receiving, that cycle, right? And so this is something that I think the younger you would fear you would never have. And I think you saw examples of it with other people and was like, well, dang, I thought this was the way because it was impressioned upon me. And then you saw through other people, no, I don't have to live that way. And I can free myself from this. And these two sixes coming in on that seven, they're bringing in a balance and they're bringing in a restoration. So let that be your focus. Let's look at the Temperance card and your potential outcome. The Moon, there's that illusion, and the Magician. Whew, all major arcana energies here. Maybe some Cancerian energy, Sagittarius energy playing into this. This is about your intuition coming online and being activated in a way that I don't even think you thought possible. It could be so strong, okay? You are, with the release of these illusionary forms of energetic competition and comparison, as you release that, the magic that you're able to create and the magic that is created in your life that just comes in for you is so much more aligned. And it's going to be your intuition that actually lights that up and is like the beacon for it, like the lighthouse in the dark. Okay. And you're still going to have bumps in the road. You're still going to have challenges. You're still going to have things to overcome. However, you're much better equipped. You now have the tools and you have the guidance of the elemental energies, as you had quite a mix here of all of these different energies. You had Swords, you have Wands, you have Pentacles, you have Cups. There's a nice mix of these elements, and I think you're coming into a much more balanced space as you move on in your journey. So, Aries, let's get you a card from the Magical Drum Oracle to close off your reading today. Aries, you got the number 5 card, the Dog in the Village. This is about loyalty, trust, confidence, love, and dedication. Value the simple things. Use your instincts and your intuition to navigate current life situations. Pay attention. Use your intuition and your instincts. Look here, reaching your destination now no longer has to do with the competition and the comparison of the past, of the way that you were taught to think when you were young, of the way that you experienced in school or in a team sport. Okay, this is all about you coming to the playing field with loyalty to the true version of yourself, to who you are in your free form as a sacred being here on the planet at this time. Supposed to be here, supposed to be breaking through the veils of illusion and reaching some really important goals for yourself. It's coming. You're a lot more patient than you used to be, which is really nice to see. You're recognizing now that you can navigate this from a place of intuition, instinct, and inner wisdom, whereas before you were just moving through the competitive energies and you found a different way. Aries, thank you so much for joining this powerful reading today. It was my pleasure to offer it to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.